The Supercar Challenge is powered by Pirelli, Syntix Innovative Lubricants, Autosportinsurance.com, and IDIS High Definition Surveillance Systems. Hello and welcome to the circuit of Zandvoort for the fourth round of the Supercar Challenge powered by Pirelli. It's the first time this season that the GT classes have raced on Dutch soil after the first three rounds with the Belgian circuits of Spa and Zolder. In this show we take a look at Saturday's race with both SuperGT and GTB championships taking shape. Zandvoort is well known for its location among the dunes a few steps from the North Sea and a kilometre-long beach. Since 1948, it's been the ideal combination for tourists who want to enjoy the sun and top-notch motorsport within a 5-minute walk. And what better weekend to pick than the DTM race weekend, which has been hosted for 15 consecutive years by Zandvoort. So we'll take a look at the first race of the weekend. For the third time this season, pole position falls to championship leaders Nicolas van Dierendonck and here Jeffrey van Hooijdonk behind the wheel. But they almost missed out on qualifying after the engine dropped a valve in free practice. The team replaced the engine in record time, so they were able to qualify just a few hours later. It's their second engine change this season. Of course, says Nick, these are high-performance engines. These things can happen. It's part of motorsport. But if you look at the problems the other teams are having today, I think it's a pretty normal part of the challenge for our team. Henry Tumbrink starts from second. He's already won 2 races this season, but he's also failed to finish 3 times. So the Volvo driver's hoping for a little bit of good fortune. Last time Zolder won the first race of the weekend, but you still have problems from earlier races in your mind, and we've had a lot of bad luck in the first few. Things you can't foresee or fix on the spot, and this weekend we've replaced everything that could potentially be a problem. We've got a good starting position for the weekend, so we're aiming for 2 podiums hopefully. Lining up third, Roger Grouse and Kelvin Snooks in the Team Race Art SRT Viper GT3R. They lie second in the Super GT Championship. Everyone's really competitive, says Calvin, but we got a lot to deal with results seconds. It's impossible to say where we'll finish, but hopefully we'll be in the top 5 despite our 45 result seconds. Spaniards Javier Morchillo and Manuel Cintrano return after missing out on the last round at Zolder. They line up 4th, but it was a close call whether they'd start at all because on Friday Manuel crashed the Moser MT900R hard and it looked to be over the weekend. But thanks to the help of other teams and hard work by the Neil Garner Motorsport boys late into the night, the number 174 Mosler was ready for the first race of the weekend, albeit without a splitter and so very low on front downforce. Plenty of damage is something Henk Thies had to deal with in the second round of the Super GT Championship at Spa when he was hit hard from behind, but he still managed to drive on and finish the race. So make no mistakes, the 70-year-old champion never gives up. He'll definitely look to up his game in this first race at Zandvoort. In the GTB class, championship leaders Ferdinand Kool and Milan Dontje start from pole position with the Chevy Corvette C6. They have a single-point lead over Patrick Lamster, who's got pro driver Donald Molenaar alongside this weekend to help out. Donald's very quick at Zandvoort with the Porsche. He's got lots of experience as Ferdinand. He was pushing hard, beat our times in the first part of qualifying. But with a new set of tyres, he went out again, managed to set a new track record and take 2 poles, and that was a great feeling. Starting 7th is 17-year-old Max Cobalt, who last year won the title with the same Corvette that Milan Dontje and Ferdinand Kool are now using to lead the championship. This season, though, Max is in the Super GT Volvo S60 V8 that qualified 4th fastest, but a penalty from the stewards put him back 3 places. Second place in GTB, Donald Molenaar and Patrick Lamster with their Porsche GT3 Cup, currently lying second in the championship. Third on the grid, Bob Herbert. Now, he's temporarily traded the AMG Mercedes for this black BMW M4 Silhouette. JL Motorsport's doing a stunning job because the car was built up from scratch in just 2 weeks. The other JL Motorsport, the BMW M4 Silhouette, will start 4th in GTB, with Frederik Jonckere taking the start, Bard Slice taking over halfway through the 1-hour race. They're currently 4th in the GTB point standings with 2 wins, 16 points adrift of the leaders. Third in the championship, Simon Atkinson with the Lamborghini Gallardo GT3. He's only 2 points behind Milan Dontje and Ferdinand Kool, and he starts 7th. Well, it's a bright sunny day at Zandvoort, not too much breeze, so the track is hot, which might lead to tyre problems over the race distance as Jeffrey van Hooijdonk leads them away. On board with Henry Zumbrink, looking back from second on the grid. The Viper there on the left, that's Roger Graals lining up third, and he and Kelvin Snooks need a really strong race here. Started the weekend 11 points behind the Corvette that you can see right in front, but the Corvette now with pole. 12 points is the margin at the start of the race, so every point counts, even at this mid-season stage. Here we are then, ready for the rolling start. Corvette in front on pole, pacing the field. The lights change, away we go. Rushing down the inside line. Henry Zumbrink, the blue Volvo on the right, little faster start. And look up the inside. Max Cobalt makes a good getaway as well. He's inside the Mosler. There is Cobalt in the second of the blue Volvos. Inside Javier Morchillo takes fourth place. Roger Graals with Henry Zumbrink in front of him now. Graals in third place, but look how far the Corvette has jumped away already. He won't be happy at not getting by that Volvo. Looking for the GTB class leader, Milan Doncha in the Corvette. Oh, and there he is, coming around Niels Bohaus's Praga. Good start from him. Fredrik Jonker has dropped back to sixth place behind the Porsches of Marcel Van Berlo and Dan Meyer in the Martini Porsche. And in fact, there is Dan Meyer looking back from Marcel Berlo. So they are battling, and Fredrik Jonker are right behind them. We're on board with him then in the M4 Silhouette. It's 3.2 litre BMW engine, not quite as powerful as the Porsches, but he should have a slight advantage in terms of handling. And if they're battling each other, they're certainly not going to be getting away from him. They're wheel to wheel. Great lap one action. We see that Jonker closes under braking. He stays with the Porsche. In fact, he can close in on them through the corners as well. But then when they get into the top speed areas, they pull away. So he's going to have to be very crafty to get by them. GTB leader is Milan Doncha in the Corvette there, ahead of the Phantom of Carlo Kaya, then Niels Bohaus in the Praga. Patrick Lamster second in his Porsche. Bob Herber third in his M4 Silhouette. And we're in sixth in the other JR Motorsport car. Fredrik Jonker still chasing the Porsches of Marcel Van Berlo and Dan Meyer. And Meyer in the Martini colour car, giving Van Berlo a really tough time. There's your overall race leader, Jeffrey van Hooijdonk. Long way clear of Henry Zumbrink. Roger Graals in the Viper, then the second blue Volvo, Max Cobalt in fourth place. Javier Morchillo, Henk Tace next up. And then Milan Doncha ahead of Carlo Kaya, Niels Bohaus. And Patrick Lamster under pressure from Bob Herber. Down the inside into Tarzan. Almost contact there. Herber in the black Z4 Silhouette. And he's got Porsches everywhere. One in front and two behind. Marcel Van Berlo. And then the Martini car of Dan Meyer with Fredrik Jonker's M4 Silhouette next up. The white and blue car and Herber on the inside. Uses the grip he's got to get inside the Porsche. And Lamster now hung out to dry a little. Marcel Van Berlo trying to come the long way round the outside, and that might work for him. Now he goes left. Dan Meyer trying to squeeze his nose through. That's bad news for Patrick Lamster. He lost 2 places, nearly lost 3. And Meyer looking at having a go. Fredrik Jonker, Simon Atkinson, the Lamborghini. And then Pierre-Etienne Bourdais in another Porsche. They're all queuing up. Lamster offline. It's so sandy offline here. His tyres aren't working for him. Through has gone Dan Meyer. Through goes Fredrik Jonker. And Lamster desperately trying to get the door shut on somebody, anybody. Pierre-Etienne Bourdais got in front of Simon Atkinson's Lamborghini Gallardo. And Dan Meyer, one spot further up the order now. He's attacking Marcel Van Berlo once more. This time it's for third place in the GTB class. Looking back, there's the fourth place Porsche. Down the inside he comes. Oh, Meyer, 4 wheels on the dirt and on the curbs on the inside, and that's a problem there for Marcel Van Berlo. Little bobble from him. Through goes Fredrik Jonker. It is all action in GTB as they get onto the straight. The order is totally different from the last lap. Milan Doncha still leads. Now Bob Herber's second, Dan Meyer third. Fredrik Jonker up from 6th to 4th. And in 5th place, Marcel Van Berlo, who was 4th at the start of this lap. Behind him, a dreadful lap, I'm afraid, for Patrick Lamster. There is your race leader, though, Jeffrey van Hooijdonk, charging away at the front of the field. And he needs to, with 40 result seconds, he needs a big lead over this man, Henry Zumbrink, who's got 0. Max Cobalt, the 17-year-old, in 4th place. He's also racing the Blancpain Endurance Series for the WRT Audi team. And he's doing a good job duffing up the Race Art Viper. Kelvin Snooks watching from the race art monitors there, sees that Max Cobalt is very close. And with that battle raging for third, Javier Morchillo closing in a little bit in the Mosler despite the lack of front downforce without a splitter on that car. It'll be really skaty wide, and in fact he has. He's gone off at Skyflach. You really need the downforce there, especially when you're chasing guys in front, and he's been caught out, lost a place to Henk Tace down in 6th position.
It was a driver mistake, yeah. The car is a bit difficult to drive, no front grip, so I had to relearn to drive it around here. So made a little mistake, tried too hard.
Well, I don't know about trying too hard, but certainly trying very hard is the man behind us now. The Volvo driver, Max Cobalt, the 17-year-old, all over the back of Roger Graals in the Viper. And Graals trying to hold him off but preserve the tyres as well to hand over to Kelvin Snooks for part 2 of the race and try and allow Kelvin enough rubber to set the fastest race lap, which is worth another point. Meanwhile, Cobalt takes advantage of the Viper's slightly defensive driving, dives down the inside, through he goes into third. He'll hand over to Luxembourg driver Paul Stoffel in the pit stops, and now he's setting off after teammate Henry Zumbrink. We'll take a look here. Roger Graals defends hard, eventually comes back onto the racing line, and as soon as he does so, Max Cobalt up the inside like a dog after a rabbit. So great move into third position and pulling away fast from the Viper. And with 0 result seconds, both Volvos looking at a good result in race 1. However, it's not to be for Max Cobalt. Before long, he is out with a broken differential. And that is heartbreaking for the youngster after such a good start to the race. It was a great battle with the Viper, says Max. I tried to get by twice, then finally managed to pass him. Then I opened up a gap and then something broke in the transmission, so that didn't help us much. Scary moment for gentleman driver Dirk Schultz. Watch this. Tarzan, most difficult corner on the track, loses a left front wheel. Simon Atkinson, second in the points, just 2 behind the championship leader, in trouble with the Lamborghini Gallardo. He's out of the race.
I was passing one of the Porsches down into the hairpin, and I got a very, very long brake pedal, and I just made it. And then the next corner, I put the brakes on, went straight to the floor, and I just went straight on. Fortunately, there was a big gravel trap, so went through that, picked up lots of gravel, tried to keep it off the track, came back here, but they can't see what's wrong, so there's no point in trying to go back out. We don't know it's going to stop, so we can't go quick. So it's the end for today. We try and get it fixed and get out and do better tomorrow.
Simon Atkinson, not the only title contender running into trouble in the first race at Zandvoort on this DTM weekend. Stay with us after the break for more from SuperGT and GTB. The Supercar Challenge is powered by Pirelli, Syntix Innovative Lubricants, Autosportinsurance.com, and IDIS High Definition Surveillance Systems. Welcome back to the Supercar Challenge powered by Pirelli for round 4 of the Super GT and GTB Championships at Zandvoort. It's the first race of the weekend where Super GT Championship leader Jeffrey van Hooijdonk has built a massive lead in the Corvette over Henry Zumbrink with the Volvo S60 V8. Third place was Roger Graals. He lost his place to Max Cobalt, but then the 17-year-old was forced out with a broken differential as they headed towards the pit stops. Race leader on pit road, Jeffrey van Hooijdonk, is out of the Corvette to hand over to Nicolas van Dierendonk halfway through their 1-hour race. Mandatory stop is 60 seconds, but because these guys have performed so well this season, they've got 40 result seconds to add to that. And to make up for that deficit, Jeffrey's tried to balance speed and build a gap while handing the car over to his teammate with some tyres left. That was great fun, said Jeffrey van Hooijdonk, just like in qualifying. We used a new set of tyres then to get pole and to get a point. I think I've got fastest lap at the moment. That's worth a point as well. Car was good in the first few laps, but the tyres are getting pretty warm. Hopefully Nicolas will keep the car on track. It's a bit all over the place, so yeah, it's going to be exciting for him. Kevin Snooks heads out in the Race Art Viper. 5 more result seconds even than the Corvette. Henry Zumbrink, the race leader, with 0 result seconds in the Volvo. Snooks with better tyres thanks to his teammate Roger Graals preserving them well in the Viper, closing down the Corvette. This is the battle for second place then between the two big front-engine American muscle cars, and into the Arie Luyendyk box. He takes second place away, and that's probably as far as the Viper is going to get. The Volvo is a long way up the road. Battle for third place, the Corvette, with Henk Tace in the black Radical RXC closing in very fast, really trying hard to get onto the podium in the closing stages at sunny Zandvoort. Roller coaster ride through the dunes here. Having a look at the Masters turn, down to the inside, through he goes, but bumps over the curbs and loses the place immediately. Cat and mouse battle. Well, Henk never gives up. Down into Tarzan, same deal, even deeper down the inside, across the pit exit lane, right through the gravel. That's real rallycross. Manages to escape the gravel trap, but no podium for him. Win number 3, though, for Henry Zumbrink in the Volvo S60 V8. 3 failures, 3 wins so far this year. Second place, Kelvin Snooks, Roger Graals. Nicholas van Dierendonk manages to hold off every single overambitious attack from Henk Tace. Takes third place with Jeffrey van Hooijdonk. And after dropping out last time, victory here for Henry Zumbrink will come as a relief to the Volvo driver. Finally, it all came together. It was a good race, said Henry. Not easy because of the heat. The tyres wore quickly. The track was pretty low grip. I had a big advantage during the pit stops with no result seconds, so I knew I didn't have to push too fast in the first part of the race. That was different in the second. Kelvin Snooks was closing fast, but I managed to keep the lead and win it, so pretty happy. Roger Graals, Kelvin Snooks finished second ahead of Jeffrey van Hooijdonk and Nicholas van Dierendonk, so they got 2 points closer. But with pole and fastest lap for the Corvette duo, they earned 2 bonus points, so the gap is still 11 between the Corvette pair and the Viper duo in second place. In the GTB class, Milan Doncha and Ferdinand Kuhl have 35 result seconds more than anyone else. So Doncha pushing hard to keep the class lead and doing a great job. The 20-year-old in his first ever year of racing, extending the advantage until this out of Tarzan. He's lost drive and the Corvette doesn't even make it uphill out of Hugenholtz. The race is over for Milan Doncha and Ferdinand Kuhl. He's trying to diagnose the problem with the team. Yeah, it starts, no problem. I just can't go. No, it's over. Bad news for the championship. They score 2 extra points for pole and fastest lap, but with a 1-point lead, that won't keep the lead. We're right on the edge, he said. We were quick and could do consistent lap times, so didn't even have to push very hard. Good sign for tomorrow, I suppose. We just got to forget what happened today. Well, that driveshaft failure for the Corvette really changed the face of the race. Bob Herber in the black BMW leading in his silhouette just in front of Dan Meyer, and we're right behind with Frederik Jonckera in the other M4 silhouette. Well, Meyer's been a consistent front runner in GTB for several years, and this Porsche certainly holding its own against the 2 lighter, nimbler BMW M4 silhouettes. Frederik Jonckera all over the back of him and has been from the start of the race. I wonder what the tyres are going to be like by the end of it. Takes a little look down the inside, finds the door closed. And it's in this twisty stuff that he really has to try and exploit the advantage of the lighter, less powerful BMW against the more powerful but heavier Porsche, which is better at high speed around this Zandvoort circuit. Well, it's a good 2-car battle. Bob Herber away in the distance, you can see, and again down the inside comes the BMW, and this time he's through. Dan Meyer couldn't get the door closed quite quickly enough. So change there for second place. BMW Silhouettes 1-2. Into the pits, Bob Herber with the mandatory stop, but his race will end here. After the first 5 or 6 laps, the gearbox temperature started going way above normal. Managed to make it to the pit stops, but the paddle shift had stopped working. I was having to change gear manually. After the stops, the gearbox got stuck in third, so that was the end of my race. Shame really, everything was going really well. I was leading, but it's a 1-hour race, not a 30-minute race. With Bob Herber out then, Frederik Jonckera and Vard Slice now behind the wheel take the lead in GTB. Not bad considering they dropped back to 6th at the start and had to work their way up. Alright, 2 of the leading cars dropped out, but are they on their way to the 3rd win of the season to minimise their 16-point disadvantage to the championship leaders? No, in fact they can't. They are handed a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And misfortune strikes our new leaders as well. Donald Molinar, who took over from Patrick Lamster though, has to come back in. They had less result seconds and have moved up the order, but Molinar comes in with a flat left rear. The EMG Motorsport team work hard to replace the wheel as quickly as they can. Molinar loses the lead and drops back to 4th position. So what caused the puncture?
Ik zou niet weten waardoor het gekomen is.
Well, we got no idea, says Donald. I had another Porsche had the same issues, had a Moser as well. Maybe there was something sharp on the track or the tyres were overheating, but I had no idea that was coming, that's for sure. Well, their Porsche went up and down the order. Now there's a battle for second behind Vard Slice and the BMW Z4 Silhouette. Marcel van Berlo with the blue roof. Dan Meyer in the Martini car, and they're joined by Pierre-Etienne Bourdais in 4th position in his Porsche Cup car. Well, great three-way battle, and of course, Marcel van Berlo and Dan Meyer were at it hammer and tongs from lap 1 of the race. They are still nose to tail, still fighting for position right into the closing stages, and Pierre-Etienne Bourdais getting more and more comfortable in his car here at Zandvoort. Meyer has a little look at the inside, can't squeeze through and spins. Well, he has got a slow puncture as well. Left rear is going down. Trip to the pits to get it fixed. He'll finish in 6th. Vard Slice? No, not running out of fuel, but celebrating win number 3 of the season. Despite that drive-through penalty, the pair take victory 90 seconds clear of their rivals. What a comeback for Frederik Jonkeren and Vard Slice. Marcel van Berlo second, Pierre-Etienne Bourdais in 3rd, ahead of the other Porsches with their dramas. Close call, says Vard. Last 15 minutes I started having issues with the tyres. I saw several others having punctures, so I took it easy and held on to the lead. Team told me over the radio what lap times I needed to do, and we managed to hang on. So great work by the team. Setting a car like this up for a track like Zandvoort isn't easy, but thanks to them, it was absolutely perfect. We'll have to see what we can do now for tomorrow's race. So Pierre-Etienne Bourdais on the podium in 3rd, Marcel van Berlo 2nd, and Frederik Jonkeren Vard Slice winning the race. They started the weekend 16 points behind the championship leaders who dropped out. Patrick Lamster and Donald Molinar, who replaced regular Chris Coles, finished 4th. Enough points to retake the lead in the championship as Jonkeren and Slice go from 4th to 2nd, and the former championship leaders slip to 3rd. That's it for the first race of Super GT and GTB at Zandvoort. Next time out, race 2 with a chance for the title contenders perhaps to make up for their misfortune in race 1. We'll see you then. The Supercar Challenge is powered by Pirelli, Syntix Innovative Lubricants, Autosportinsurance.com, and IDIS High Definition Surveillance Systems.